Welcome to Mindful with Minaa, where we explore how mindfulness can enhance your relationships and well-being. I'm your host, Minaa B., a licensed social worker, mental health educator, and author. Through insightful discussions, I will guide you towards self-awareness and self-efficacy, empowering you to effectively manage your relationships, reduce burnout, and be more present with yourself. So let's jump into today's episode. What's up, mindful community? I'm back with another episode, and today I want to talk to you about the importance of living a life of discernment. I'm going to unpack what discernment is and why it is so important for us to utilize discernment in every area of our lives. I find that the number one thing that has helped me maintain my mental health over the last few years is using wisdom and learning to apply wisdom in all areas of my life. Using wisdom in my relationships, using wisdom when it comes to deciding what I should respond to, how I should respond to something, but also how should I process certain things, maybe experiences or circumstances that I have had to deal with. And I do believe that a big part of practicing mental fitness is utilizing wisdom and having sound judgment in every single decision that you make, because your actions are going to impact your life. The things that you entertain, the things you participate in, the relationships that you form, the things you say yes to, and even the things that you say no to. All of those things require you to use wisdom and sound judgment so that you can be living a life of peace and harmony. So I'm going to jump into the concept of discernment. Discernment in its simplest form is the ability to judge well. And it's about making thoughtful decisions with wisdom and understanding. And I want to unpack judgment really quickly because I think judgment can often be tricky for people, as many of us believe it's not okay to judge others. And I would say that none of us want to be judged ourselves. However, what's often missing from these conversations about judgment is the discernment between unhealthy judgment and healthy judgment. And so now I am going to unpack both because I actually believe judgment is important. So when you look up the definition of judgment, it says the ability to make considered decisions or come to sensible conclusions. And when I think about sensible conclusions, I think about healthy judgment. So healthy judgment is when you take the time to really think things through. You empathize with someone, you try to understand the full picture, you're basing your conclusions on solid information, and most importantly, insightful understanding of the situation and the person. And so you've done your homework. You have taken the time to analyze a situation, understand the facts about the situation or even the person. Maybe you have paid attention. Maybe you have asked questions pertaining to that person's history, or you have analyzed their behavior and you can recognize that there is a pattern that they engage in often. And so healthy judgment would look like if I know my mother has always been someone who, for example, gets really, really upset when confronted about something that she did, or she can't hold herself accountable for things. I am going to be using discernment when I enter into a particular conversation with her because I have an understanding that my mom is just somebody who may be emotionally immature and can't handle certain forms of information. That is using healthy judgment. It is not to disparage her as a person, but I am going to have to move accordingly with you because based off my information of you, based off my understanding of you, based off our history together, I recognize how you are and who you are as a person. And this applies to all relationships. We need healthy judgment so that we can understand if it's sensible to engage in a relationship with someone. Is it sensible to go on a first date with this person if they're telling you, I don't want children, and you do? Is that sensible? Is it sensible to date someone who is telling you, I have all of these major red flags, so you should still love me? Are you worthy of love? Yes, but I don't think we're compatible. So I can love you as a person, but I'm not about to try to love you as a partner. There's two separate things. And I'm using judgment here. Yes, I am taking information about you and I am engaging in an understanding of your behaviors, your history, and things you present to me to use discernment and ask myself, do I want to be in a relationship with you? Do I want to entertain you? And so I bring this up because I think when we hear the word judged, we run from it. And there are often times where there are people who struggle with the concept of feeling judged. But I think the reality we all have to face is no matter where you go in life, people are judging you. And they're judging you through a lens of trying to understand, are you safe? Are you healthy? Are you someone who is going to bring them closer to their goals? Are you kind? Are you caring? Are you peaceful to be in a relationship with? Are you empathetic? Are you a good listener? Do you have the skills and the qualities that I'm looking for to be a good partner to me, to be a good friend? Do you have the skills that I'm looking for me to say, yes, I'll hire you for this job? We are always judging people. And I know feeling judged can feel very icky. It can make us shut down. It can bring up difficult things for us. But I think it's just really important for us to use discernment, right? Again, be sensible and use wisdom and recognize, number one, you're out there judging people too. So we don't want to be judged, but we fail to realize when we move through the world, we're judging people too. Going back to the definition of judgment, the ability to make considered decisions or come to sensible conclusions. In order to decide things, in order to figure out your next steps, you have to use judgment, and you are going to bring that common sense and you're going to bring that healthy discernment to your relationships to decide, do I want to move forward here? And so I bring this up because when you're using discernment, you're judging. Okay, we have to get comfortable with recognizing that we are making judgments of people, and healthy judgment is necessary for us to recognize who are the people we want to engage in community with. Now I want to break down unhealthy judgment because there is a form of judgment that does exist that I think all of us feel when we are in certain relationships with people that brings up negative feelings such as sadness, anger, disappointment, all the difficult feelings that come when it feels like somebody is scolding you or putting you down. And so unhealthy judgment is a very damaging form of judgment. And this judgment is often rooted in stereotypes or personal biases that we hold. It involves making hasty assumptions instead of considering all of the relevant factors at play. So you don't even have the facts. You're just assuming things and coming to a conclusion based on the things that you're assuming. And it's like viewing a complex situation through a narrow lens. It's like eliminating the gray area and only wanting to see things through the lens of black and white. And this inevitably distorts reality. And so by engaging in unhealthy judgment, this doesn't only lead to misunderstandings, it can seriously harm relationships. And what happens is it introduces distrust and it can greatly hinder clear, effective communication. And communication is vital for our relationships. So it's important to strive for a more balanced and comprehensive understanding of someone or even a situation before coming to an opinion of what that situation is or who that person is or what that person can be. And so the key thing to help you understand the difference between unhealthy judgment and healthy judgment is one, unhealthy judgment is all about disparaging somebody. It's about putting them down. It involves making decisions and making assumptions about people without having the full facts, without applying nuance, without seeing the full picture, where healthy judgment means I can have empathy for a situation but still ask myself, is it wise to make a certain decision? Because maybe that certain decision might go against my belief and values. Maybe that certain decision might not bring me closer to the solution that I'm trying to obtain. Or maybe making that decision might just result in me not getting the things that I want out of life. And so when it comes to wisdom, when it comes to discernment, when it comes to judgment, because all of these words are interchangeable, you need this in your life. You need to be able to recognize when you go into certain spaces and when you engage with certain people based off your own belief system and based off your values and based off your goals. You have to ask yourself, what decision do I need to make in order to move forward? So now I want to unpack how can you learn to develop discernment, because this is a skill that we have to nurture over time. And most of the time, this is a skill that evolves more and more depending on the experiences that we have, because our experiences can be our greatest teacher. And based off our mistakes, based off things that happened in the past, we can say, I need to use better judgment next time. Maybe things failed in that relationship because of certain qualities that I have. So I'm going to work on myself. I'm using judgment and I'm using healthy discernment to figure out what areas in my life can I improve. And so that is the first way that I think it's really important for you to learn how to develop discernment. I think it's important to reflect on past decision making. Reflect on certain behavioral patterns that you have. Reflect on your contribution to certain outcomes, because I know a lot of us like to move through the world feeling like we're perfect, but the thing is, we're imperfect people and we don't want to mess up in life, but we do. The core thing you want to be doing in order to grow and evolve is figure out how to learn from your mistakes. What are the patterns that you keep engaging in? Because if you're doing the same thing over and over and over again, it is not a mistake anymore. It is a pattern. And you need to engage in behavioral modification. And the only way to do that is to use wisdom. Before I make this decision, is this going to bring me closer to my goals? What is the outcome going to be? Am I going to be satisfied in the short term, but miserable in the long term? Or am I going to have to be a little uncomfortable now? Because on the other end of that discomfort is comfort. On the other end of that discomfort is freedom. On the other end of that discomfort is peace. And that is what it means to engage in discernment, using healthy decision making so that you can come to conclusions about things that will bring you closer to the life that you believe you deserve. Another way that we can develop discernment is to understand our beliefs and values. And so you keep hearing me say, is this going to bring me closer to my goals? Is this going to bring me closer to the things that I want? Is this going to be fruitful for me? What is the thing that I need to do to get me closer to where I'm trying to be? And understanding your beliefs and values helps you understand yourself better. It helps you understand the things that feel right for you. It also helps you understand the things that feel wrong for you. And discernment begins with a deep understanding of your own beliefs and values. Knowing what you stand for or allow can help you make decisions that align with your core principles. So you need to spend time reflecting on your fundamental beliefs and values and consider how they influence your judgments and decisions. When you are aligned with your belief and values, it creates a sense of authenticity and integrity in your actions. So you have a deeper understanding of the things that you want to say yes to and the things that you want to say no to, because you recognize, if I say yes to this thing, it may not align with the person that I want to be. The outcome of this may require me not to be authentic. And so there's a lot of deep work that has to be done that requires a lot of self-attunement and introspection so that you can have a greater sense of awareness of what you value and what you don't value so that you can engage in healthy decision making. Now, there are going to be times where we are trying to reflect on our beliefs and values, and we feel like, you know what, I need another opinion. And so I do think it can be very, very fruitful to invite other people into your life and into your decision making to help you get to where you are trying to go. And so sometimes you might feel confused. You have certain facts and certain forms of information in front of you, but you still don't know what choice to make. And so discernment can be something that you gain from other people. You can tap into other sources of wisdom and you can ask other people their opinions of things. But here is the most important thing. You also have to use your own judgment and wisdom to recognize who are the people in your life that you should be seeking advice from, because everyone may not be wise with their own decision making. So, for example, if you are trying to use discernment regarding finances, you're trying to engage in better decision making around how you spend your money, there's a strong likelihood that you're not going to get helpful information from the friend who is always struggling. Maybe you often hear them complain about money. They're complaining that they don't know how to save. They don't know how to budget. You have certain bits of information from them to recognize this person seems like they're struggling just as much as I am. So, will they actually have the information that I'm looking for? And there's a possibility that they won't. Now, will they be able to relate to your struggle or relate to what the issue is? Yes. But you have to remember, relating to someone is not the same thing as having vital information that you need to make an informed decision. So it's just really important that if you are going to seek out the opinions of others, that you're also wise regarding who you absorb information from. The last thing that I want to say about using discernment is the importance of trusting your own instincts and how vital it is to lean into your intuition. Sometimes you just have to trust your gut. Sometimes you have to recognize that I feel at peace with this decision, even if this decision is going against my beliefs and my values. And it's possible I've outgrown my beliefs and my values. And right now, with the information I have in front of me, my gut, my heart, and my mind has done the work of recognizing the pros and cons, and I trust myself. I trust that this is the decision that I have to make. And so you have to learn how to cultivate self-trust if you want to move through the world, learning how to feel free and having peace in your life. Just remember that, like any other skill, discernment takes practice. So be patient with yourself, be introspective, be reflective, but most importantly, practice self-attunement. And don't shy away from your past experiences to help you inform your decision-making right now, but also be mindful of where are you trying to go? What are you trying to achieve? And what do you feel like you deserve? And allow that information to give you the wisdom that you need to move forward. That's all for today's episode. Thank you for tuning in. If you enjoyed what you just listened to, please take a moment to rate and review this podcast on your preferred platform. Also, don't forget to share it with a friend and on social media. To stay connected with me and my work, follow me on social media and subscribe to the Mindful with Minaa newsletter, which can be found on my website, www.minab.com. You can also continue learning from me by ordering my book, Owning Our Struggles, which is available at all major book retailers. Stay tuned for a new episode next week, and most importantly, remember to be present and stay mindful. Take care, and goodbye for now.